Isten hozod or welcome in Hungarian. I'm your host Maria and you're watching The Spiritual World with Maria, a weekly show exploring the metaphysical, psychic, and spiritual fields. The universal energy flows through everything we do, connecting all disciplines and people. Today we are talking about the amazing power of Tesla's energy plates. Among my other disciplines, I'm a professional psychic, published author, shaman, creative business consultant, and lecturer on many of the topics we will be discussing throughout this series. Today we're talking about Tesla, who is a genius. This is what was written about him. Okay. When asked who he felt was the world's greatest inventor, science editor and publisher Hugo Gernsback said, "If you mean the man who really invented, in other words, originated and discovered, not merely improved what had already been invented by others, then without a shade of doubt, Nikola Tesla is the world's greatest inventor, not only at present, but throughout all history." Now, he was born in Croatia and then immigrated to the United States. He invented so many different things, it's unbelievable, but one of the main things that we're talking about today has to do with his energy plates. The energy plates are extremely highly functional. They always work, and the atomic electrons of the aluminum were altered so that the plates resonate with the basic universal energy. So they're actually transceivers, and they haven't been charged because, sometimes in the spiritual and metaphysical field, we charge objects and talisman and gemstones. They have actually been altered. So when you're using the plates, you're connecting on a multi-level. You're connecting scientifically because it's actually changed on that level, but also on a spiritual level. It connects to the 7th chakra, which is your crown chakra, and that pulls in energy. When you're dealing with metaphysics or psychic readings or martial arts or healing, as an example, many times one of the main energy centers that we pull energy in through is through your crown chakra. It also deals with the violet ray, which in itself resonates through the universe. If you heard of Saint Germain as an example, you will notice that he connects very strongly to the violet ray. And in this way, we use that energy without having to focus, without having to do anything metaphysically, without having to take time to tune into that realm. It will automatically, when you use it, tune you in. Now, with the rays, whether you're pulling it in through your crown chakra or whether you're using the plates, they're multi-purpose and they are meant for healing and to improve your life in a number of different ways. So as an example, if you were using any of the sizes, whether it's the bigger size or the small one or even the small disc, when you're working with them, it changes the vibration around you. Like I said, they're transceivers. They energize within 10 to 18 inches around them. So anything within that range is going to feel the effect. So with the small one as an example, if you're carrying it in your pocket, it's going to heighten your energy. It's going to increase the level of activity that you're comfortable with. So you're going to do better. It also heightens your health level. If you're working with the larger one, you can actually put that between your box spring and your mattress as an example. And when you do that, it works throughout the night to bring up your vibrational level so that it matches with the universe and everything increases and heightens so you're higher spiritually, health-wise, and in attracting things into your life. Now, when you're working with that, you can leave that overnight, and the next morning you will actually feel the benefit. Some people, because it's so highly charged, depending on where their energy level is, they might decide that they can't sleep with it overnight because it'll keep them awake. In that situation, you want to use it for maybe 15 to 30 minutes a day, and the rest of the time, just put it away from where you're sleeping. Also, when you're looking at the smaller plates, this one is an example. It's very good on the level of pets, animals, plants as an example. If you have a plant that isn't doing well, if you put the plant on the plate for about, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes, it will start rejuvenating the cells of the plant. It's going to be healthier, it will grow more. And you'll find, a lot of people talk to plants. And some people think it's a little strange, but it really does work. When you're talking to plants, what's happening is you're giving out love energy. Love energy is the strongest force in the universe. So when you're giving out love energy, whether it's to a plant or a pet, what happens is that it vibrates on a different level. You're raising its vibration. Okay. So if you're putting that under the pet's dish, as an example, under a plant, or with a pet, if you're putting it under where they sleep, even for 15 or 20 minutes, it doesn't have to be long term, it will raise the energy and the vibration around it. And we do want to improve the health of, plants, animals, people. You can use it on yourself. If you're working with it for 10 or 15 minutes a day and you're just holding it, it will actually raise your vibration. Now, what we work from is we work from a level of positive energy. So universal energy is what we would like to tune into. Universal energy is a power source. When you're working with universal energy, you're working with God power and love power. The reason is this. Universal energy connects to all of us. It's not just around us, it is through us. So as universal energy flows through us, if we're in sync and on the same vibrational level, everything will just flow. That's where we're supposed to be. And hopefully, we'll elevate to that level through time. Now, universal energy is the same as love energy. And that's a very strong feeling of power and force. Love energy connects to God energy or divine power or Mother Earth, Father Sky. Whatever your belief system is, whatever that source is, that is what the energy connects to. So as an example, if somebody was hurt and they burned their arm, say you have a child that burned themselves, the first thing that happens when a parent finds out is they worry about it, they send a lot of love, they're worried, and when that person touches the child's burned area, it releases love energy. And as that happens, you'll notice that people are going to feel, or children, they're going to feel better, not just emotionally, they will actually start healing in the healing process itself. So what happens is if you put the plate on the burn, it will actually have the same effect. Although, a parent giving you a hug and touching isn't bad either, so it's not to replace it. But if you're on your own and you want to increase your healing energy for any reason, especially on a specific area, then you would put that on that area. Otherwise, just leave it next to you or touching it. As long as you're within 10 to 18 inches, it's going to work. You don't have to physically have it touching your body. Okay. Now, the important thing that you want to remember is that, first of all, it's free energy. So we're tuning into energy as a source directly without going through wires and all sorts of things. So it's very direct energy. And Tesla was thinking of harnessing it some way so that we have free energy. However, unfortunately, he passed away while he was still working on that. He did so many things, and one of the ways he connected to this was he did what they call the Tesla Coil. He originated that. That's a generator. And the generator we actually use when we do curlium photography. In that photography, we're using the energy and the vibration and the frequency to be able to take a picture of somebody's aura, their energy field. And then psychically we read that. And that will tell you about illnesses, situations that are negative to you, so you can understand it and change it and improve your life. The same type of energy is connected to the plate, so that this way you can work with it and improve your life. The difference with the coil as a generator was that when you were looking at it as an auric photography, as an example, it would tell you a little bit more detail so you know what part of your body, as an example, looked off. And it also gave you psychic information about your future, because the future, past, and present are all connected. They're really something that we can tap into, because time isn't really a straight stream. When you're using the plates, you can tap into it differently. So sometimes you will find, especially when you're using something a little bit bigger, but you will find that if you're sleeping with this as an example, you will find your dreams tend to be more detailed. You may get information, as an example, that's prophetic. You may get psychic information about somebody you know, about family, about a situation coming up. If you're using the plates and all of a sudden you have a vision of a situation coming up, really trust it. It is actually giving you information. It's not just a vivid dream where there's no reason or purpose for it. Usually if you have a dream that connects to somebody that you know or something in the future, you can actually take notes and later on check it with yourself after it happens, because you're getting prophetic information. Now, it's a very good way to tune in. You can use it when you meditate. It will heighten that level. Also, if you're wearing it, like the small disc in the center, if you're wearing that, it protects you from EMR, which is electromagnetic radiation. So if you put that next to the TV or the microwave as an example, when you're using it, the energy is not going to come at you. It's not going to hit you. What it's doing is it's protecting you. It has that energy field surrounding you, so nothing negative on that level is going to come through. Now, it's very important because we deal with so many things that are electronic nowadays, between the iPhones as an example and microwaves and everything else. You know, we really need to make sure that our body isn't affected in a negative way inadvertently. And also, when you're dealing with equipment like that, people that work with computers all day long, depending on what business they're in, of course, but people that do that, they're bombarded constantly with this energy. So if you're using any size that you're comfortable with, that you can throw in your pocket basically, then it's not going to affect you the same way. It's going to be harmless. It'll take away that energy, and you're going to be working with it comfortably, depending, of course, on, you know, if you like the job or not. But the protection is going to be there all the time. Now, they have something that's called radionic equipment that measures the energy of a person, and it really measures it per second. Now, I work with the scientific communities, and what they've noticed is that when you're dealing normally, like, you know, we're talking now, a person's normal energy level or vibration level is about 25 to 29,000 vibrations per second. We want to raise that to be more in tune with the universe, because the more in tune we happen to be, the better we can manifest and create what we want in our lives so that our lives are more positive. If you're raising it through time, it will actually come to 100,000 per second. Now, a lot of people can do that between 90 and 95 through time. You know, you're raising it. When you get to 100,000 per second vibrations, you're actually on a healing level. That means self-healing, healing others. When you talk to people that are faith healers, when they're tested, their vibration level is around 100,000 per second. And that's the number of the universe. When you're working with the universe, you're tuning in on that level. So what we'd like to do is raise our vibrations so that spiritually we understand the universe better, we understand ourselves, our partners, other people. And when you're really working on a spiritual level, it's like having an open door. All of a sudden you're going to see things differently than just the mundane, everyday situation. Okay. Now, it really isn't connected to a religion. It means spiritually, you're going to be tuning in so you get more out of life, as an example. Okay? It increases the energy. And actually, if you're using that, it increases it immediately to about 90 to 95,000 per second. And eventually, if you reach 100, you know, then you're working on the faith healing level. All healers use that. And, you know, if there's a crisis, somebody had a car accident, as an example, and you have somebody that really loves them that was in the car, and they're really trying to help, and they're touching them. Okay? A lot of times their vibration will raise to that level, and you will actually start seeing the person in the car accident start to heal. So we want to work with that energy as much as we possibly can. Now, Tesla invented so many things. He was dealing with, as an example, he was dealing with not only the Tesla Coil. They have a little list in here that basically said that he was working with such scientific marvels as the AC motor, radio, fluorescent lights, radar, the high-frequency furnace, waveguide for microwave transmission, space navigation code, cryogenics, engineering, energy transmission to satellites, principles of solid-state transitor technology, and that's just to name a few. So this happens to be one of his inventions that benefits all of us. Now, the fluorescent light is an example. It's very positive. He was just a genius, but we don't all use that. So when he was in the process of inventing, he was one of those people like Einstein where he invented something, then he was on to the next project. So we give him a lot of credit. We're impressed. However, inventors are not impressed by themselves. So as he was working on one project, he would start the next one. And the plates really came out of his interest in spirituality. He was already working on everything scientifically, but these branched out from spirituality because he felt that the combination of frequency and the vibrational level of people, if you're changing that, then you're going to be able to do much better in your personal life. And he was always trying to help other people improve. He really wasn't focused on himself, he was focused on helping others. And you'll notice that even if you're just looking at the plates, you're going to find that the color itself, which is the shade of the violet ray, the violet flame, if you're thinking about Saint Germain, if you're looking at that, you're going to find that just looking at it, you're going to have somewhat of a reaction because the vibration of the color moves you up also. So it's a combination of altering the electrons. Also, when you're looking at improving your life, it's multidimensional. You want to be able to help others, not just yourself. As we're going into a time where we're dealing from the heart energy, which again connects to universal energy and God force. When we're working with that, the more we're in tune with that, not only do we better our lives, we better everybody around us. It's that domino effect. So we're helping ourselves because after all, if you're not working well financially and you're starving on the street, really who are you going to help? So first you have to help yourself. Once you're doing better, then you can help other people. And mainly you want to do it through a vibrational level. Because again, you're in tune with the universal energies. When you're working with plants, so if you go to the park as an example, you ever notice when you go to the park or the beach, depending on your connection, you feel more at peace, you're calmer, you feel more in tune with nature? The reason for that is you're blending in with that level of energy. You're blending in with the universal forces. If you're in the middle of Manhattan as an example, you have so many different frequencies hitting you between satellite towers, between microwaves, between everything else going on in the city, that it doesn't give you that same sense of balance. This will balance you out. But again, it's the same energy as if you're going to the park, if you're going to the beach, if you're going somewhere where you're really comfortable with yourself because your energy is balanced. So if you have extremely high energy where it's too much of it, as an example, you're stressed, it's too abundant, what this does is it balances you so it will bring the energy down to wherever it should be on your normal level. If, as an example, you're really tired, it will raise your energy, but it will consistently raise your energy until you get to about 100,000 per second. Okay. Now, when you're doing that, you will find that you're going to have an interest in improving your life in a number of different ways. It's not limited to just using the plates for yourself. If you're charging anything, batteries, crystals, it is phenomenal for for working with crystals if you're a little bit more into that on the knowledge level. But if you put any crystal on it, it's going to charge it. If you put water on it, as an example, if you have a gallon of water and you put it on the plates, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes to energize the water. That means that it's going to be healthier for you, you're going to feel better, it gives you more energy, and it only takes 2 to 3 minutes. If you're using the plate with food so that it changes the energy to be more positive to match your body chemistry, you can actually put a bag of groceries on top of the larger or the smaller plate, or you can actually put it in the refrigerator. Now the funny part is that if you put it in the refrigerator, usually on the middle shelf, you actually have to adjust the refrigerator because everything in there is going to be much colder. So you're going to find that the food tastes better. It works where it blends with your energy, so you're going to feel more comfortable. A lot of times, we have so many pesticides and we have so many bacterial things going on. You don't know what's going on in the supermarket, the warehouse, wherever they harvested the plant, as an example. Okay? So this will balance that type of an energy out. Now, the funny part I found is that every now and then when you're using the plates, we've actually had some phone calls where it will actually disappear on somebody. So you may know exactly where you put it, and it will really just disappear. So eventually, you know, they're going to buy another one because it still works on a very high level and it helps. However, we find it's funny because we actually had somebody call up and suggested that maybe, you know, we work with nature spirits and elemental spirits. So they actually suggested that maybe we sent over an elemental spirit to take that back, so they have to get another one. But it just disappears. We really haven't figured out scientifically why it does that, and it's very infrequent, but it does happen. So you want to be aware that you didn't misplace it, or, you know, hopefully you'll find it later, but if not, it wasn't an elf and it wasn't a nature spirit. Okay. When you find that you're working with this, I find that it deals with occult and science. Now, occult just means ancient wisdom, but it does work with both levels, both areas. Now, occult is actually a science, well, metaphysics nowadays, but it's the oldest science. So, actually, science came out of metaphysics. And we find that the more we work with different energies of the planet, of the universe, of the galaxy, the more we work with different energies, the more we find that it heightens our abilities, but the more we find that as we work with these energies, a lot of the ancient methods were valid, they were very real. They worked with crystals, they worked with herbs with different levels. And some of the time when you're working with herbs, it takes a couple months for that to activate your system. And even then, there's a limit to how much it raises your vibration. If you read books about people that are psychic, as an example, you will find that a lot of psychics carry herbs, they carry gemstones, or they wear gemstones. And the reason for that is that it tunes them in to interdimensional information, okay, which this also does. It tunes you in so that you can get information from a psychic or spiritual level. Now, we look at it as we're tuning into our source. However, it's interdimensional. We look at the holographic universe as being around us, through us, and if you look at one molecule or one atom inside your body, that one little atom is going to give you all the information about everything within you, such as how the rest of your body is doing health-wise, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. So that little piece tells you everything. So when we're reprogramming ourselves for health, for knowledge, for any other reason, we want to really tune in on every level and to focus. Now, water as an example, on the holographic side, if you have a drop of water that you take out of a lake as an example, you will find that the information contained in it from a scientific, holographic, and occult point of view, that one little drop will give you all the information of all the lakes throughout the world, because they are all connected. We look at it as a spider web. When you're on that little spider web as a soul, as a spirit, you're connected to everybody else on the planet that's on that spider web as a soul or a spirit. So if you move and you shake that web, you're affecting everybody on the planet in one form or another, not just the person near you. So you want to stay on a positive side. We never do anything negative. I truly believe that whatever you put out comes back. And when we're working with universal energies, I hate to say that it's a shortcut, but it's a shortcut. When you're working on meditation, as an example, some people take years to get on a very intense meditation level. Some people take an hour. Everybody is different. However, when you're tuning into universal energies for information, for divination, you usually meditate at least once a day. And like I said, some people take years. When you're raising your vibrational level, which is what meditation does, then you're going to get there quicker. Also, if you are meditating, I meditate all the time. If I'm meditating, I just use one of the plates to kind of jumpstart. It makes it quicker, and you tuned in a little bit stronger with clarity, with information. And what you'll find when you're meditating is that it gives you very direct information. It doesn't matter if it's in color or black and white. Information is information, and it tends to be very accurate when you're meditating. I do want to say that before you open yourself up to the universe, such as meditation, you want to use something called psychic self-defense, because you want to be safe before you open yourself to positive and negative. Now, if you're in martial arts, when we're doing Tai Chi, when we're doing Qigong, some days, you feel a little bit off. Your energy is a little bit low, it's ebbing. That's normal. And that's fine. We don't need to change it all the time. However, if you're going to a tournament, one of the gentlemen that I deal with, his name's Rudy Curry Jr., and he's a phenomenal martial artist. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of him. Okay. When he's going to a tournament, he cannot afford to be off that day. You can't be off, you can't be tired. You have to be able to raise your energy like this. Now, whatever form you use works, it's fine. But if you just carry, especially the smaller one, the circle, okay, especially if you're carrying that in your pocket or anywhere on you, or in your pocketbook if you're a woman, it will automatically heighten that level so your energy is in play before you get to your destination. It works immediately. It's not something where you have to say, oh, maybe in a month or two. It's really quick. And sometimes when we're not feeling well, or if we have a family member, a friend, somebody we care about that isn't feeling well, we want to lend it to them or give them one, because that way we're helping them feel better, to heal quicker, and we're helping everybody else's life. So thank you for joining us today. And don't forget to tune in next week for The Spiritual World with Maria. If you would like more information on anything you heard on the show today, a copy of my show, or for meditation, classes, readings, or about any of my other disciplines, go to www.mariadeandrea.com. You will see that and other contact information at the end of the show. And may God bless you abundantly.